All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Tuesday, December 6th, 2022, and of course, we just finished with Week 13 of the NFL, so it's only natural, it's only the right thing to do to jump into Week 14 and go over our Week 14 NFL Pick'em video. So, we've got some picks to go over really quickly, but in Week 13, we went 11-3-1 last week, so we had a pretty solid week. We did really good, seeing the board well, so that was really nice, finally having a decent week again. That brings our overall record to 112, 81, and 2, so we have two more ties. There was a tie last week, so that's the second one of the week. The Giants and Washington tied at 20-20, so it is what it is. Everybody gets a free tie this week. One less loss that you have to worry about, right? Anyway, so we went 11-3-1 last week, bringing us to 112, 81, and 2. So overall, having a decent year. We're well up over 100. Let's see if we can finish strong and maybe avoid 100 losses this year, but I highly doubt it. Anyway, before we get right into the video, as always, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, leave your picks down below in the comment section, or your thoughts, whatever you want to do. I'll always be sure to get back to those as soon as I can. Very good about that. But yeah, leaving a like, subscribing, and leaving a comment down below does help the video perform better, so thank you very much. That's the only reason I add it here in the beginning. I know it's a little annoying and it's a little bit out of the way, but it does help the videos perform better, so I do appreciate that if you're willing to do that. And yeah, anyway, without any further ado, let's jump right into Week 14 of our NFL Pick'em video. Again, thank you so much for everyone who does leave likes, subscribe, and your comments down below. I love reading them. So anyway, Falcons bye weeks. We have the final week of byes, so this will be the last time you have to worry about any bye weeks. We have the Falcons, Bears, Packers, Colts, and Saints. Holy crap. Falcons, Bears, Packers, Colts, Saints, and Commanders are off this week. Sorry, that was a mouthful. So yeah, if you're a fan of one of these teams and you don't have to worry about your team losing this week unless you're a Commanders fan, then you can just worry about maybe the Giants losing or a couple other teams losing to help your personal standings in the wild card anyway. So yeah, these teams have it off. Last bye week, 6 teams off, only 13 games to go over this week, so might be a little bit of a shorter video if I don't get long-winded. Anyway, Week 14, Thursday Night Football is a bit of a stinker as it's the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Los Angeles Rams. The 5-7 Raiders taking on the 3-9 Rams. The Raiders are coming off a win 27-20 versus the Los Angeles Chargers. It seems like the Raiders maybe have found an identity. They're seeming to play better with McDaniels. They've been winning a little bit more often. They just seem a little bit better than when the year started. As far as the Rams go, I mean, the injuries keep piling up. The bad play continues. I don't know what they're gonna do. The offense looks bad. The defense doesn't look good. The Super Bowl hangover is so immense that even the best doctors in Los Angeles can't find the right vitamin drip to get these guys thinking straight, to get the hangover gone. There's no cure for it. And that seems to be just, I don't know, they're in a bad spot. The Raiders are favored by 6 with an over-under of 44.5. And when I think about this game, the biggest problem is it's literally everything I just said. The Rams are banged up. They're playing poor football. They seem lost. They don't really seem to have any kind of a clue on cohesion or anything right now. And the Raiders seem to be playing good football the last couple weeks, running the ball well, playing decent defense. So that might be it's just probably a bad game for the Rams to get, and it's going to be pretty boring too on top of it. Hopefully we get a 28-17 game. That'd be pretty sweet. Anyway, Sunday 1 o'clock, we have a much better slate of games to go over for this time. It's actually a pretty solid week of football. The New York Jets take on the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are 9.5-point favorites with an over-under of 44.5. That's a pretty wild line. The Jets are 7-5 coming off a 27-22 loss versus the Vikings. And of course the Bills are 9-3 coming off a 24-10 win versus the Patriots. Basically, I'm just kind of liking the Bills in this one. The problem with the Jets, they play really good defense. Their special team seems to be pretty solid, but the problem with them is still always going to be their offense. They could have beat the Vikings with a little bit better offensive performance. I don't know if Mike White's necessarily going to be the answer or anything like that. Sure, he plays better than Zach Wilson does, but that's not very difficult. Excuse me. So until I can and I know the Jets already beat them once this year at home, so it's kind of like I'm looking at the home split. That's very possible. The Bills are playing a little bit better football. They finally looked right against the Patriots again. I don't know. Seems I don't know. The Jets will keep the Bills down offensively, but the Jets will keep up in this game, and I think keep it kind of close because of their defense, and the Bills won't be able to kind of blow it open and keep it insurmountable. But I do think that the Jets offensively, just right now, just don't have enough firepower to hang in this game. So give me the Bills because I think their offense is phenomenally better, and I think the Bills are playing good defense too. Browns versus Bengals. This is one of my big upset picks of the weekend. It'll be the Browns taking on the Bengals. Bengals are 6-point favorites with an over-under of 47.5. The Browns are coming off a 20. So both teams are coming off wins. The Browns are coming off a 27-14 win versus the Texans. The Bengals are coming off a 27-24 win versus the Chiefs. And I have the Browns winning in an upset this week, mainly because of the fact that Joe Burrow in his young career has never beat the Browns, and I believe I don't even know. I think the Browns have won 9 of their last 10 games versus the Bengals. So it's one of them things where it's just this team owns this team, and specifically this team owns this quarterback. And until we see young Joe Burrow beat the Browns, it's one of them ones where it's it feels like an upset's going to happen. Kind of like with the Bengals beating the Chiefs. It's just one of them weird upsets that are don't know why that's the case. It just seems to happen that way. Burrow owns the Chiefs, but the Browns own Burrow. Don't know why that's the thing. Division games are weird. Give me the Browns in an upset. Again, until they can prove otherwise, what's the point of picking the Bengals in that one? But it's also my upset pick, so I don't have to add that much insight. Anyway, Houston Texans taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 17 with an over-under of 44.5. I don't know. The real question of this game, I think, is do the Cowboys cover the spread? Because they're going to beat the Texans. There's not much else to add to this game. The Texans are 1-10-1. The Cowboys are 9-3. They just beat the Colts 54-19. As we just discussed, the Texans lost 27-14. It's really just a question of how badly do the Cowboys win this game and what's the final score. I'm guessing somehow the Texans miraculously cover this, but it's probably not going to happen. This could be a 42-10 type game, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. So yeah, I got the Cowboys. Here's another really good one this week. It's the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Detroit Lions. The Lions actually are the favorites right now, depending on what book you look at. I'm using FanDuel for all the lines, by the way. And again, that's why I have them in there. I just put them in at there. I make my picks, yada, yada, yada. You know the drill. But when I look at the Lions and Vikings, right, I kind of have to look at the Vikings defense the last couple weeks. Yeah, the Lions are favored by 1.5, by the way, with an over-under of 53.5. Both teams are off of good wins. We already talked about the Vikings win. The Lions won 40-14 versus the Jaguars, kind of a big win. So when I look at both these teams, they're both kind of offensively driven. And when I look at the Vikings last couple games against the Patriots and the Jets, I kind of go, whoa, what happened there? How the hell did Mac Jones and the Patriots, who have no offensive ability this year, rack up 380 passing yards and 20 plus points? And the Jets almost won the game if they didn't have such weird quarterback play at the end there with 22 points. So I kind of am looking at these things and a little bit worried about that when I look at this Vikings defense. It seems like it's really easy to score on. We don't know how healthy Kirk Cousins is heading into this game. So there's a few things that just kind of rub me a little bit weird heading into this one. It just feels like a game the Lions can win. They're at home. They almost won the game in Minnesota. Lions are playing really good football offensively right now. I'm not really liking what I'm seeing from the Vikings. Feels like another kind of game where you could pick the Lions in an upset, even though they're the line favorite. Anyway, so I like the Lions. I don't know. Will the Vikings probably win? I don't know. Maybe. Philadelphia Eagles take on the New York Giants. Eagles are 6.5 point favorites with an over-under of 45.5. Eagles are 11-1. Giants are 7-4-1 with a tie against the Commanders. And the Eagles just kind of abused the Titans 35-10. Unfortunately, I can't really pick against the Eagles in this game. The Giants again have a few limitations that I'm not a big fan of. Again, they're dealing with some injuries, even though they might get a few guys back. Isn't enough. Is it enough to be able to score with the Eagles if both defenses kind of break down and don't really have major significance in this game? I don't think so. Eagles are just playing way too good right now, and it's I don't know. Are the Giants enough to stop these guys? I personally don't think so. Is it possible in a division game? Yeah, it's I guess possible, but boy, that would take quite a bit, and I just don't know if the Giants have the team to stop these guys. So give me the Eagles in a pretty solid win versus the Giants. Yeah, this game I have no idea quite yet. Like, because it's just like, well, is Lamar playing or not? I can't really get a solid answer on this. It's the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are 3-point favorites with an over/under of 36.5. And yeah, both teams are coming off of wins. The Ravens a 10-9 win versus the Broncos, and the Steelers with a 19-16 win versus the Falcons. So as you can tell, both these teams are just blowing the doors off of the teams that they're beating. But yeah, right now I'm not really sure how to like pick this game because I don't know what the Ravens are doing. It's like very unlikely that Lamar Jackson plays in this game. So I'm assuming that it's going to be their backup Huntley. So that's why I'm going with this score. The Ravens just barely were able to beat the Broncos, but it just barely snuck it out. I don't know. And the Steelers have been playing all right on offense. They had kind of a bad game against the Falcons, but they're home. They've been playing halfway decent football, offensively. Their defense has been pretty solid for the most part the last few weeks. I don't know. If Lamar Jackson plays, then I'm going to probably go ahead and go with the Ravens, but I have to revisit this on Saturday when I know a little bit more about the 100% status of Lamar Jackson, because I've been hearing he might be able to go. It's like a question mark. So that's just something to keep your eye on anyway. The Jacksonville Jaguars take on the Tennessee Titans. Titans are 3.5-point favorites with an over/under of 42.5. We've already gone over both these teams. Jaguars off a loss, Titans off a loss. I don't know. The Jaguars will probably keep it really close in this game, but ultimately I don't know if they're going to be able to do much to stop the Tennessee Titans offense. I feel like the Titans will be able to run the ball pretty effectively against the Jaguars, be able to move it. They're home. Going to be probably wanting a little bit of revenge after what happened against the Eagles, trying to keep their season alive, keep things going, keep themselves, leading the division in a healthy way. So, I don't know. Jaguars are a lot better than they used to be, and this isn't like a blowout waiting to happen, at least, if you're a Jaguars fan. That's just, your defense looks so bad against the Lions. It's hard to pick you guys this week, not gonna lie. All right, anyway, what do we got here? Ooh, Kansas City Chiefs take on the Denver Broncos. Chiefs are 9-point favorites with an over/under of 43.5. Both teams coming off a loss as we've already gone over. The Chiefs are 9-3, the Broncos 3-9. So the records are kind of flip-flopped. So basically, the way I view this game is the Broncos just do not have the offense to play in this football game versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs could play like next to no defense and they'd probably still win this game. Broncos just can't win. Like, they should have been able to beat the Ravens. That was handed to them on a silver platter. They just needed one more touchdown. They would have won that game easily. It wouldn't have never been in question. But I just really can't pick the Broncos this year. Offense is bad. Their defense is really good, and that's probably why this game will be like weirdly close. And then the Chiefs probably pull away at the bitter end once the Broncos defense just goes fuck this and gives up. Like why wouldn't you? So I don't know. Give me the Chiefs over the Broncos in a game that was supposed to be much better. This was supposed to be the Broncos' chance to finally beat them, but of course, unfortunately, it's Broncos country. Let's cry. Broncos country. Anyway, Carolina Panthers take on the Seattle Seahawks. The Panthers are coming off a bye. The Seahawks beat the Rams as we've already discussed. Panthers are 4-8. Seahawks are 7-5. Seahawks are favored by 3.5 with an over/under of 43.5. Yeah, I don't really have much to I don't really have much for this game. I don't know if Carolina's defense will be able to do much against this rather potent Seattle offense. Carolina might be able to weirdly put up points against Seattle's defense, but ultimately they'll probably come up short, especially if it's in Seattle. So I kind of like the odds for Seattle at home. They got that huge home advantage. They have much better offense, much better defense, much better coaching. Just pretty much huge. Everything is Seattle's favor in this one. Here's my other big upset pick of the week. So I have kind of two of them: the Browns over the Bengals and the Bucks over the 49ers. The 49ers are favored by 3.5 points with an over/under of 37.5. Both teams are coming off wins. The 49ers a 33-17 win over the Dolphins that came at a high price because Jimmy G broke his foot and he's out for the remainder of the season. They will be starting Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy in his first NFL start. He played in that game against the Dolphins, played pretty well, mainly because the Dolphins defense isn't the greatest this year, and they have There was no tape for him, so there's no way they could have prepared to have Brock Purdy in there so he could take advantage of, no one really knowing any like idiosyncrasies, having no real tape on him at all, no real preparation for him. So that was a part of the reason why he might have looked so good. And then you have the Buccaneers coming off a very shaky win versus the Saints, a team they never play well. So the fact that they were able to beat them says quite a bit. They overcame their Saints demon this year and swept them. The Bucs are 6-6, and the reason I have this upset pick is mainly because I think the Buccaneers defense has been so like quietly good this year. I don't know if the 49ers offense led by Brock Purdy is going to be able to do much of anything. If Jimmy G was playing, I'd probably go with the 49ers to squeak this one out. But without Jimmy G, I really don't know if Brock Purdy, with a defense, like a good defense like the Bucs, having a little bit to prepare on, a little bit to understand about Brock, to like prepare for, get ready for, have their defense ready for, no surprise attacks from him possible. You know what I mean? Like there's very little that he can do now that's going to surprise a good defense like Tampa. And the Bucs probably can do just enough against this Tampa defense, or this San Fran defense, to squeak out a really ugly close win. So give me the Buccaneers 17-14 in what could be the ugliest win ever outside of what Brady did last week. So yeah, I don't feel good about that upset pick, but again, it's mainly because I don't know what Brock Purdy is actually capable of in this start, with the Bucs being ready for him. So give me the Bucs in an upset. This is decent. Miami Dolphins take on the Los Angeles Chargers. Dolphins are 3-point favorites with an over-under of 51.5. Both these teams are coming off of losses, as we've discussed. The Dolphins are 8-4. The Chargers are 6-6. So basically, I just kind of look at this and I go, well, what's the most likely outcome? Chargers play kind of bad defense. Dolphins play kind of bad defense. They both have really good offenses. I don't know which offense has looked better and more consistent this year. That's the Dolphins. What coaching staff is better? That's the Dolphins. What defense is slightly better? I guess I would have to go with the Dolphins, even though the Chargers play okay pass defense. I don't know. I just never bought into the Chargers. All offseason, I was telling people the Chargers were overrated, and they just kind of keep acting overrated. Injuries also for the Chargers are really, really bad. Plus, I think the Dolphins just signed Eric Fisher, and I like that move for their line. So give me the Dolphins in a very close, good game on Sunday Night Football, in which would probably be a very good offensive game for once. Then Monday Night Football. All right, it's my favorite team ever, the Patriots. The Patriots take on the Arizona Cardinals, who are coming off a bye. The Patriots, of course, lost to the Bills in an ugly game. Patriots are 1.5-point favorites with an over-under of 44.5. Yeah, I have the Patriots winning, and no surprise there. But like the Cardinals just aren't very good this year. They're playing bad defense. The offense is really shaky and super inconsistent, which going against the Patriots defense, you probably don't want to have that problem. Plus, they don't have the best offensive line. Patriots have one of the best pass rushes in the NFL. That something's got to give there. Plus, like Cliff Kingsbury versus Bill Belichick, that's Patriots advantage. Patriots have the advantage slightly on offense. I don't know. It's a wash. I guess the Cardinals have a little bit better offense. They should, but the offensive line's so bad and the play calling is so abysmal. I don't really know what to consider with that. I don't think the Cardinals can stop the run, and the Patriots can run the ball really effectively. So this feels like the Patriots will win this game. I'm going to go with the Patriots because they have a coaching defensive advantage, and they can kind of probably piece together a decent offense, and it's in a dome, so we'll be able to kick the ball. So all right, that's our picks for the week. Let's see, where, like we said, we went I forgot to put week 13 in there, but we went 11-3-1 last week, and we're 112-81-2, as we already said. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the week. We'll get out of here before this video hits 19 minutes long, but as always, thank you so much for listening all the way to the end. That's week 14 wrapped up in a bag, put a bow on it, smack it in the behind, and send it on its way. It's all good. So yeah, week 14 already. I can't believe it. This season is flying by at absolute warp speed. I hate it. Pretty soon we'll be begging for the NFL to come back, but at least we'll have the XFL and other ways of holding ourselves over, right? But anyway, let's get out of here. Thank you so much for listening. If you are still listening, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, leave your comments and all that. Just giving you a slight little reminder there to kind of do that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much. It's done. Have a good rest of the day, night, morning, mid-afternoon, mid-time, that time between like 3 and 7 when it's like you're not really sure what time of day it actually is, but you know, it's something. But anyway, have a good one whenever you listen to this. Thank you so much. Go Lions, go Tigers, and of course it's always go Patriots. Have a good one. Peace out, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.